friends, it's Nancy, and I'm here to show you a flip through of this journal that I just finished this afternoon. So over the last few days, I've been working on this journal created from a hand-embroidered linen tablecloth. It measures 9 inches tall by 5 3/4 across and has a 1/2 inch spine. For closure, I've sewn on this vintage button and stitched in some silk embroidery ribbon to wrap around that button. And just as a little decoration, I added this little pink pearl on the end. On the inside, the inside covers are fabric, and I think this blue and pink really gives this a shabby chic sort of a feel. And I've used a vintage handkerchief to make this pocket. Inside is a tag that I created from some leftover pieces of the tablecloth. I want to make sure I stay in frame. You can absolutely write some journaling on the back. In the meantime, we'll just tuck that right in here. This is a vintage card from the early 1900s. I think it was 1902. And I've added just a little scrap of lace there. Here's some more of that lace that was on the original tablecloth. This is scrapbook paper. Inside, this little card here is actually a Christmas card and has a little fairy painting blossoms and butterflies. Not very Christmassy, but certainly very shabby chic. And that just opens up, and inside this is a vintage postcard. And in the side is another vintage postcard, again with little blue flowers, lots of pink. This has not been used. So you can move it anywhere you want inside the journal, or take it out completely and frame it, whatever you want to do. This is a letter, I believe it's dating to the 1920s. 1925. Yeah, that's right. This is some vintage wrapping paper. This is some paper that was, oh, I know, it was in between layers of acetate that I bought. Here is a vintage envelope that I've cut the end off, and this little scrapbook piece my Crafty Crush sent to me. Inside, I have this Dominion Bank form from 1934, and this is a handwritten recipe for pickles, and I just added this little fussy cut, and I made it out of book page, and I backed it with a piece of a diary. I'll put those back in later. You don't want to see me fuss. This is a vintage receipt from 1942. This is an order form from a 1930s seed catalog. Here is a ledger page from a very early ledger. I think it was 1918 dates in it. And this is a piece of stationery from a hotel. Here is a vintage birthday card featuring milk glass, which I love. This was sent to me by Tarnished Treasures. And inside I have made these two tags, two journaling cards. These threads are knotted. If you don't like them, you can trim them off. And I just added some vintage lace scraps and a button. And I thought the pink, it was light enough to journal on, but if you don't want to journal on it, you can glue another piece of paper over top, or you can do some collaging or attach some photos. This is a 1958 receipt. I love the look of that. Here is a envelope. So this would have been, it was in a book of envelopes, and so you would have written down your expenses and you know, kept your cash in here to sort of budget. And I just thought this was kind of cute. These words were actually in a different order in a magazine, and so I cut them apart and put them in that order. So this is some vintage lace from Hanky and some more silk ribbon. I made this little charm from a piece of broken jewelry and a very interesting looking paperclip. So that is pinned on this receipt from 1964. Here is a little tuck spot. I'll just grab this tag to demonstrate. So anything can be tucked in there. And this is a little metal piece from garters. And I just added a little bit of a little scrap of lace there. This is actually a piece of packaging. Here is a rusty clip that I rusted myself. This is another Christmas card. Can you believe that? And it opens up, and I've added some scraps of paper to write things on. But you can see it's a Christmas greeting from Maud. And this is the back of that that legal 1927 is the date on document. Here I've done a little collaging using that sheriff's notice that I burnt with my with my iron. And this is a tax form from 1967, and I fussy cut this pretty lady. I love her eyes. Here is an envelope, and it's from the National Soap Sculpture Committee. I think I'm getting low again. So I took this little scrapbook piece of kids blowing bubbles, soap bubbles, and put that on there to cover up the address. But this is kind of heavier. I did some collage here with, this is from an insurance book payment schedule from the 1930s. Here's a handwritten receipt and a fussy cut. Again, we've got some vintage wrapping paper. Here is, this is a check stub actually from, I don't see a date. Isn't that interesting? Oh, here it is. 1964. Some grid paper. This is from a 1930s seed catalog. This is some resume paper. And I made this little tuck spot. And this is St. Gabriel. No, St. Michael. St. Michael. And he is from 1928. And again, he's a tuck spot. I just like the colors. I thought it was kind of Victorian looking and pastel. That's some vintage composition book, workbook, school workbook kind of thing. This is a bookmark. It's from 1909. And I stitched it to this receipt. This is from the 1960s, I believe. I've probably covered that. And I made this pocket here from a Woolworth envelope. And inside I've just tucked this little bookmark. And this is the picture that's on the back of this bookmark. Actually, it says bookmark on it. There's even a rusty stain there on this receipt. Here's another little tuck spot. My new addiction of altering button cards. Here's some snapdragon. Oh, sweet peas. I was going to say those are snapdragon, but they're sweet peas. Some writing paper. I'm going to lift the book up to show you these buttons because I think they're awesome. I hope you can see them. So these are metal, but they've been painted pink. But the silver metal is showing through. So I just made this ruffle and put it on the edge of the page. In here, some of that collage for the from the insurance premium booklet and the recipe have come over onto this page as well. But I made this little pocket, and inside is this beautiful vintage card. I cannot read it. There is a postmark on it, but I can't read the date. Yeah, beautiful. Here's another little pocket. And on the final page, we have another handkerchief pocket, and I made a tag using leftover tablecloth, and I added these little hand crocheted roses on these vines. It was just vines, and I thought, oh, let's give it some flowers, and I think that turned out really cute. Anyway, if you are seeing this video, I have listed this journal on my Etsy, and you can go over and take a look and see if there's anything else you might be interested in. So thank you so much for joining me. This was a real pleasure, and I'm ridiculously happy that I've been able to use something that's been languishing in my stash and make something that I believe is truly beautiful. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to talk to you again soon. Take care.